Hey guys, sorry I've been gone for so long. I've just been really busy with a lot of things that have just been, going on in life and whatnot. And honestly, making the Friday the 13th reviews, every day was a little bit too much for me. So I kind of had to put the Halloween-a-thon on halt because, as I said, some life things just came along and it eventually just came that doing the Halloween-a-thon was just a little bit too much. But I'm very happy that I was able to make it to Friday the 13th at the very least. I do have other videos planned. Don't worry. Valley of Death will be back along with Ned reviews and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I do realize that a bunch of new movies have just come out in theaters, but once again, I haven't really had the time nor honestly the energy to go see movies and be able to record them and review them, edit them, and a whole bunch of stuff. So I've just been, really busy with a lot of personal stuff. But I thought this would be a good time to go ahead and start basically a vlog series. But, something that I've got from, honestly, quite a few of you guys, including people from New Catholic Generation, some of you guys really want to get to know me and, get to, know just who I am and all that kind of stuff. And basically my vlog videos will be, kind of just, small opinionated kind of videos and get to know me's and all that kind of stuff. And I figured, tis the season of all spookiness. I thought it would be cool to kind of tell you guys some of my favorite things that I like to do around the Halloween season. Now, as you guys can probably guess, my favorite thing to do in general is just, watch scary movies or watch movies that are really fitting for the season. And this is going to sound a little bit funny, but I was never one of those kids who absolutely adored and loved going trick-or-treating and going to haunted houses and all that kind of stuff. It's not that I don't like it. I used to go with my nieces and nephews, and that used to be fun. Simply bringing them because seeing their excitement and everything was kind of fun. But when I was younger, I kind of just didn't care. I loved Halloween and I loved the season, honestly, I just love to curl up in my favorite chair, have a nice blanket over me, get some candy and some other, some kind of liquid that I liked. Oddly enough, my favorite drink is orange juice. That's my favorite thing. Fun fact about Ned, favorite drink is orange juice. And honestly, I just love to watch, movies around this time. Halloween has always been, honestly, my favorite movie viewing season. Like around Christmas time, I always love to, go around the house, decorate like crazy. And of course, I love to decorate around Halloween as well. But, I love to do more outdoorsy things around Christmas time and doing, really spending time with, the people I love and even going to visit friends and all that kind of stuff around the Christmas season. But Halloween was always that really kind of special season that I always thought, I'm just going to go ahead, plop myself down, and watch some movies. And it's a little bit hard to explain, I guess. I just didn't really care about trick-or-treating much. Like I said, I love trick-or-treating with my family, especially the younger ones. But, and one day when I have kids, I will definitely want to go ahead and take them trick-or-treating. But me, myself, I just didn't really care about trick-or-treating much. Honestly, some of my favorite memories were just sitting down and watching Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, watching the It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, other Universal monster movies like Dracula and Frankenstein, the Disney version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and other like really fall and Halloween themed kind of movies. That was really my favorite thing to do when I grew up, especially watching it with my family. Honestly, one of my favorite things that I used to do was, on Halloween night, I used to go ahead and like watch, yeah, like the old Universal monsters and maybe some other like black and white horror movies, and watch them with my family. That's honestly probably my favorite thing to do on Halloween. And actually, this Halloween, I'm planning on doing a movie marathon with my fiance Saida, and we're gonna go ahead and watch the whole Chucky series. This will actually be. I've watched some of the Chucky movies, but I've never watched like all of them, and especially the more recent ones. So I'll be very intrigued to see what I have to say about them. And I'm also planning on doing a Halloween-a-thon this weekend, where quite a few of my friends are going to come over. We're going to watch the Hammer Frankenstein movies with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Honestly, some of those are actually some of my favorite Frankenstein movies of all time. Some of them are a little bit cheesy, but they are a lot of fun to watch. And as I said, there's something about Halloween that I love getting all the decorations out, getting the pumpkin, doing some pumpkin carving, and getting like a whole bunch of like like spider webs and cool other decorations, and just putting them around the house around Halloween time, and also decorating outside as well. But then just inviting a few friends over for us to go ahead and watch movies. It might sound like an antisocial kind of thing to a certain extent, because, Halloween, you go out and get candy, trick or treat, and all that fun jazz. And it's true. It is a really fun thing to do. And as I said, I love doing it with my nieces and nephews. But, yeah, I don't know. I just really loved having my friends over and us watching, like, a bunch of, like, scary movies and all that kind of stuff. It was just a lot of fun to do. And I think one of the reasons why I really loved inviting my friends over for us to go ahead and watch, scary movies, is because honestly, a lot of the scary movies we watched or horror movies we watched were not really that scary. I mean, Universal monsters. I always view them as a classic and absolutely amazing pieces of film history, because they are amazing movies. Like, they have great acting, great storytelling. Some of the, honestly, film effects were historical for the time period. But I just loved watching some of the more funny and crappy horror movies, I guess, and just sitting around cracking jokes and making fun of them. Honestly, one of my favorite memories, and this wasn't even Halloween time, this was actually earlier in the year. Some of my friends and we marathoned the whole Friday the 13th series, and we just watched them and made jokes about them. And that was honestly one of my favorite times ever of watching the Friday the 13th series. Because, I mean, it's my favorite horror series, but hey, they're ripe for being made fun of. As you saw, I mean, for goodness sake, I even made fun of them in my review series that I did for them for the Halloween-a-thon. Another thing I really like to do around the Halloween season is reading. Another thing I really like to do around the Halloween season is honestly reading spooky stories, or reading comic books and stuff. I just recently started collecting the Friday the 13th comic books, which I hope to review all of them when I have all of them. Trust me, they're actually very hard to get, and also very, very, well, some of them are very, very expensive, so it is a little bit hard to get to them. But honestly, I hope to eventually have all the comic books. That way I can actually review them for the next Friday the 13th that comes along, which I believe is in April. And so that way I can go ahead and view all of them. But I've recently been, started collecting the Friday the 13th comic books, and honestly, they've been like a really lot of fun to read. Some of the stories are just absolutely ridiculous, but some of them are actually like a little bit on the scary side. And but yeah, I think one of my favorite stories that I loved to read around Halloween was The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which is arguably my favorite American legend of all time. And there was just something about reading The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It really just got me in the mood for Halloween. I mean, the Headless Horseman, his head was basically a pumpkin. You can't get more Halloween than that, really. But yeah, it's one of those things that in order for me to kind of really get in the mood for Halloween, it's not going out and getting candy and all that kind of stuff. It's just having a bunch of friends over and being able just to go ahead, have fun, crack jokes, watch scary movies or even not scary movies, and yeah, just having fun really. And one day, when I finally do have a family, or when I finally do have kids, I, like I said, I do plan on bringing them trick or treating. But honestly, one of the things I'm like very much looking forward to is being able to introduce my kids to some of my favorite horror movies. Mainly like the older ones, like the Universal monsters. Um, and then, when they get older, one day, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Chucky, and all that kind of stuff. But, definitely start them off with, like, the nice soft stuff, like the Universal Monsters. Even, like, the Hammer horror movies. Those ones are pretty good. Although there are a few that should not be watched with children because they have some bad content in them. But yeah, honestly, that's like one of the things I'm most looking forward to, and that's being able to introduce my kids to some of my favorite horror films because something that I always love to do with people is always like throw out like fun facts. Like, hey, this happened in this horror movie, or this is what happened behind the scenes with this horror movie, or this actor got his start in horror films. Like, for example, actually, go ahead and start a fun fact right now. Um, Johnny Depp's first movie, or at least one of his first movies, was actually A Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, isn't that kind of like hilarious? One of the greatest actors, or one of the biggest actors, in Hollywood, Johnny Depp, who has played, countless amazing characters like Captain Jack Sparrow, Edward Scissorhands, the Mad Hatter, Sweeney Todd, and so many other characters, started in freaking A Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, Kevin Bacon was in the first Friday the 13th movie. It's moments like this that I just love to go ahead and, have friends around and be able to go ahead and, just talk movies with them. It's one of my favorite things to do. And honestly, I'm kind of getting closer to the end of this vlog for right now. But yeah, I hope some of my movie trivia, was cool and whatever. Sorry if I seem like really like spouty off. This is honestly my first vlog video. I didn't really have it fully planned out, except for the fact that, I just wanted to tell you, how I'm doing, what I've been up to and all that stuff. But also the fact that I've also, do have other videos planned on coming out, in a little while. And also just wanted to tell you some of my favorite Halloween things. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys later. God bless, and I hope you have a happy Halloween.